Remy Ma has made it clear that she is no longer pretending everything is fine. For a long time, people believed her marriage was perfect. Social media painted a picture of loyalty, strength, and unbreakable love. But now that picture seems to be fading. And the one who quietly signaled that change was Remy Ma herself. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She didn't attack anyone. She simply looked into the camera during a live session and said, "What's understood doesn't need to be explained." That single sentence shook the internet. People immediately started asking questions. Is this the beginning of a divorce? Or is this a woman who already made peace with her situation and decided to move forward without drama? No one knows for sure. But what's clear is that Remy handled it in a way no one expected. Many assumed that if there were problems between her and Papoose, she would go online and speak her mind loudly. In the past, she has never been afraid to defend herself. So the public thought they would see an emotional breakdown or a heated rant. Instead, they saw something completely different. She appeared calm, focused, in control. During the live video, she spoke about business. She mentioned scripts being sent to her. She talked about television projects, documentaries, and movies. She explained how her platform, the Remy Network, is growing every day. She sounded like an executive running a company, not someone dealing with personal chaos. That shift caught everyone's attention. At one point, a fan commented that they had been arguing with strangers online to defend her. Instead of thanking them or encouraging the support, Remy looked into the camera and said, "Don't argue with them crazy people." Then she repeated, "What's understood doesn't need to be explained." That response changed the tone of the conversation. It wasn't defensive. It wasn't emotional. It sounded like someone who already knows the truth and doesn't feel the need to prove it. Online, people began analyzing her body language. They compared her expressions from years ago to now. Many noticed a difference. She seemed stronger but also more guarded. Not broken but protected. Like someone who has learned hard lessons and built walls for survival. Then she casually mentioned something else that added fuel to the discussion. She said she was supposed to perform during NBA All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles, but it didn't happen at the last minute. She spoke about it like it wasn't a big deal. However, fans began connecting dots. NBA All-Star Weekend is a major event. Performing there brings attention, media coverage, and big opportunities. For it to fall through suddenly raised questions. Some believe the timing was suspicious. Others think it may have been related to personal issues. Nothing has been confirmed, but the speculation continues. For years, Remy Ma and Papoose were seen as one of hip-hop's strongest couples. He supported her during her prison sentence. He stood by her publicly. Their relationship became a symbol of loyalty and black love. Together, they built a brand around that image. It gave them value in reality television, interviews, and public appearances. But when rumors start to grow, that brand can become fragile. Whispers turn into headlines. Headlines turn into assumptions. And once the public begins questioning a relationship, everything connected to it can feel unstable. Bookings slow down. Business deals become complicated. The pressure increases. From Remy's perspective, she fought hard to rebuild her life after prison. She worked to repair her image and regain respect in the music industry. She earned opportunities step by step. If the person who was supposed to be her partner becomes part of the stress instead of the support, that changes everything. You can see that change in her energy. While blogs talk about her marriage, she talks about expansion. While people expect tears, she discusses contracts. While the internet looks for drama, she focuses on growth. That doesn't happen by accident. Feels intentional. The Remy Network appears to be more than just another project. Seems like independence. A way to create her own lane without depending on a shared public image. If your identity is tied to a couple brand, and that relationship becomes uncertain, you either fall with it or build something separate. She chose to build. Some believe she may have stepped back from performing at NBA All-Star Weekend to avoid difficult questions. Large events mean red carpets, interviews, and reporters asking about her personal life. The first question would likely have been, "Where is your husband?" Maybe she didn't want to pretend everything was perfect. Maybe she didn't want to lie on a national stage. Silence can sometimes protect more than explanations. When she said, "What's understood doesn't need to be explained," It felt like a boundary, a clear line. She doesn't owe strangers a breakdown of her private life. She doesn't need to confirm or deny every rumor. Still, when you look closely, you can see more than just business confidence. There is strength, yes, but there is also weariness. The kind of tiredness that doesn't come from lack of sleep. It comes from carrying emotional weight for too long. Remy Ma is not just a public figure. She is a mother, a woman who has survived prison, criticism, and career rebuilding. She knows what it feels like to have the world judge her. That experience changes a person. It teaches you to speak less and move smarter. When she told her supporters not to argue with strangers, it sounded like advice learned from experience. Fighting every rumor online doesn't fix anything. It only adds more noise. Sometimes the strongest move is focusing on your own growth while everyone else debates. Right now, she appears to be protecting her peace, protecting her daughter, protecting the stability she worked hard to create. Whether this is the end of a marriage or simply a rough chapter, one thing is clear. Remy Ma is choosing strategy over spectacle. She is choosing silence over shouting. She is choosing business over breakdowns. And sometimes that says more than any long explanation ever could. Chaos can surround you, yet you still choose to stand tall. Sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is stay calm when everything inside feels like it's falling apart. When she said, "What's understood doesn't need to be explained," it didn't sound like she was ignoring the situation. Felt like protection. It was her way of saying, "I see what's happening. I understand it fully. But I refuse to put my pain on display just to satisfy strangers." That kind of strength makes people uneasy. We live in a time where women are often expected to cry online, share every detail, and turn heartbreak into public content. People wait for emotional interviews, long captions, tearful videos, and dramatic confessions. But Remy Ma didn't give any of that. Instead, she shared business updates. She set boundaries. She stayed focused. And somehow, that quiet confidence felt louder than any public argument ever could. Behind the scenes, the Remy Network is not some random idea she thought of overnight. It's a real business. A streaming platform built from the ground up. No commercials. Original shows. Growing subscribers. Real income that doesn't depend on anyone else. While the internet keeps replaying rumors about her relationship, she seems busy building something lasting. Scripts are being reviewed. Deals are being negotiated. Content is being approved. She appears to be operating like a true CEO. At the same time, questions continue to circulate. People talk about a missing divorce decree, 2 years of alleged drama, stories about moving on. Yet no official paperwork has surfaced publicly. In today's world where people post screenshots of everything, silence speaks loudly. Maybe the documents exist but are being kept private. Maybe the divorce never happened. Or maybe she's controlling the timeline and choosing when, or if, the truth becomes public. Then there was the NBA All-Star appearance that didn't happen. Major events usually don't get canceled without a reason. Someone made a decision. Maybe it was to avoid attention. Maybe it was strategic. Yet she mentioned it casually, almost like a small inconvenience. That tells you something about her mindset. She doesn't seem shaken by missed opportunities because she's creating her own platform. Meanwhile, on the other side, social media appears filled with loving posts and captions that seem designed to prove something. But real happiness usually doesn't need an audience. When affection starts looking like a performance, people naturally begin to question it. Authentic love speaks quietly. It doesn't shout to silence critics. Remy Ma's approach feels different. She avoids emotional back and forth. She speaks thoughtfully. She presents herself as focused and steady while others seem caught in reaction mode. Instead of fighting publicly, she rises above it. No sponsors. No ads. No outside approval required. Financial independence often leads to emotional freedom. When you fund your own dreams, you don't have to beg for support. This situation isn't just about a marriage. It's about privacy, dignity, and control. Social media blurs the line between public and private life. Many people believe they deserve access to every detail. But she appears to reject that idea. Just because people watch the relationship doesn't mean they own it. There are several possibilities. Maybe they are legally married but emotionally separated. Maybe the divorce is finalized and simply being kept quiet. Maybe nothing official has happened yet. Or maybe she mentally moved on long ago, and paperwork is just a formality. One thing is clear. She moves like someone who has already made peace with her decision. Her calm doesn't feel fake. Feels settled. Her business focus doesn't look like distraction. It looks intentional. Instead of fighting for space in someone else's world, she's building her own stage, her own rules, her own empire. Whether she is completely unbothered or simply choosing dignity over drama, only she truly knows. But one lesson stands out. You don't owe the world a performance of your pain. Protect your peace. Build your future. And remember, some things don't need explaining.